All right, finished. It is cool, but it's humid still. Let me show you the time. The time, 44 to 39, 7:05 a mile or so. So it says. So not too bad. I'll take it. It was faster than I thought I was going to do, so pretty happy with that. All right, just doing a little active recovery on the trusty Concept 2 rowing machine. It's the day after the Peachtree Road Race, which was yesterday, July 4th, and as you saw at the very beginning, I had a pretty good time. I did a little bit better than I thought, well actually quite a bit better than I thought I would do, and I think that's due to a couple of things. So let me go ahead and get upstairs next to the computer, and we'll talk about that, kind of what went good. There were a couple of things I could have done better, so we'll talk about that, and then also, more importantly, what the opportunities are for us older runners to improve in the future, because I think from looking at the results, I think I've got some opportunity to do quite a bit better in the future. So let's get up and talk about that in just a second. Okay, back up here at the computer to do a little review of the 2021 Peachtree Road Race that I did yesterday. Like I said, as you saw at the beginning, I had a pretty good time, and that was kind of surprising to me. I thought I would do good. I didn't think I would do quite that good. So I wanted to dive in and give you a little bit of an analysis of how I did over the course and what opportunities I see for myself in the future, even as I get older. I'm a lot closer to 57 than I am 56. I'll be 57 in a couple of months, and it's encouraging to see that some people quite a bit older than me are doing very, very well. So let's talk about that. But let's go ahead and start this and show you what we got here. Okay, so as you can see, this is the overall results from the Peachtree. They split it up into 2 days. Normally they run everybody on one day, July 4th. It's about 60,000 runners in a typical year. This year was a few less runners. They split it into 2 days between the 3rd and the 4th. And as you can see here, the winning time for the men was Sam Chalanga, 28:43. His per minute mile pace was faster than my mile record that I ran in high school. It's a very good time there. Galen Rupp was in there. They had a pretty decent elite field. And then in the women, Sarah Hall won the women's race at 31:41. And as my wife was so lovingly put it, she only beat you by 13 minutes. So, but very good turnout, and some good times. The thing that was interesting about this race was that the weather was a little cooler than it normally is. Normally for July 4th, the overnight temperature will be 70, 72, 73. Today was, or yesterday was, about 63 degrees, so a little cooler. Humidity was up there though, it was 100%. So it was humid, but cooler than normal. As far as my results, official results were 44:36 for the 10K, average pace per mile 7:11. That put me 993rd out of the 24,225 in-person runners. There were about 8,000 or 9,000 that ran it virtually again this year. 254th in the male masters group, and 31st in my age group of 55 to 59. What was interesting is I ran a pretty good overall. The first 5K was 21:54 for the first 3.1 miles. That was a little faster than I thought I would be, but I knew that the first half of the course was a little faster than the second half. It's essentially level with a little bit of downhill coming into the third mile, and then uphill right after mile 3, and then rolling hills with a little bit of downhill to the finish. So I did 21:54 halfway, ended up 44 to 36. So what is that? 22 40 or so. So that wasn't too bad considering the profile of the course. So very happy overall with the time and the placing. It was a surprise to me because I was hoping to break 46. My previous time on this course 2 years ago was 47:13, but I've been training pretty specifically the last year and a half, and that definitely has paid benefits. So I was hoping to go under 46. I was very happy with that 44:36. Kind of show you, this is the run itself in the Stride Power Center. You've got the course profile along the bottom here. You can see it goes down, then climbs, and then rolls a little bit, and then a little bit downhill to the finish. My mile paces, first mile was 7:13, second mile 6:56, which was starting to go mostly downhill. Third mile 6:42, that was mostly downhill. Fourth mile, my slowest mile, was 7:32, and that's with about the first half of that mile essentially going uphill, gaining about 120 feet. Fifth mile, 7:20. Sixth mile was 7:05, and then the last 2/10 or so was 1:52. So pretty happy with that overall. I paced myself pretty well. I did have a couple of opportunities to do better, I think, running pace wise than I did. And the first one that I'll point out was kind of in this section here, from about mile 1 to mile 2. I averaged about, what was that, about 6:56 for the mile. That was mostly downhill. I was a little bit below my power goal. I was running about 270 to 280. I should have run a little faster there. That might have given me another 5 or 6 seconds. The third mile, going into mile 3, I did pretty good. I was running about 6:45 or so. Power was close. I could have gone maybe a little faster. Mile 4, which essentially starts right at the 5K mark, was mostly uphill, as you can see. And I kept the power. I was trying to keep it around 295 maximum. I had a little couple blips here on the surge uphill where I got up into 320, 315. I could definitely feel that. That's something that I have to pay more attention to, is not run by pace, but run by effort, or in my case, power, because it correlates very closely. And I've been running with pace or heart rate for the previous 40 years. I've only been running with power for the last 6 months. So still getting used to it, but I did dial back the effort once I noticed I was going a little harder than I should be. The pace drops, obviously. And then when I get to the top of the hill, pace gets faster and power gets back into range. So I had a few blips where I was going maybe a bit too hard power-wise. But here at mile 5, I think I could have gone a little faster here. I'll have to remember that next year, that it is, I probably could have gone closer to a 7-minute pace here and still been within effort, power output, so I would have been fine there. So I think if I would have picked up the pace a little bit in mile 5 and a little bit in mile 2, I could have been closer to, say, 44 minutes overall. But very, very happy with the result. Go ahead and stop this and record here. And I think the opportunity for me at this point is to main takeaways for me of this race was, one, that the training I've been doing, training by power, is starting to pay big dividends. I'm much better able now to maintain my effort and gauge how I'm running in relation to the amount of energy that I'm putting out. And If you ever train with power, and I'll talk about this in an upcoming video about training with power, but you definitely there's a fairly narrow range that you need to pay attention to. So I'm getting better at that, and the training I've been doing based around effort and power is starting to pay big dividends. So I'm very happy there. Another year or two of training in this fashion is going to only improve my fitness overall. So that was the first big takeaway, that the training I'm doing is working. The second one is that there are a lot of fast runners in my age group, 55 to 59, and even into the mid 60s. I was 31st in my age group, 55 to 59. The winner in my age group was somewhere around 37 minutes, so very, very quick. But even if you get up into the 60 to 65 year age group in the men, there are men that are running around 40 minutes or a little bit under in that age group. So I do have some opportunity to improve. I've placed very well in my age group, but I think with some more concentrated training, fingers crossed, no injuries, making sure I focus on the strength and everything outside of the running, I think I've got some opportunity, some good upside for me in the next few years, even as I get closer to 60. They do say that aerobic conditioning and aerobic capacity can increase up to about age 60 or so. So I've still got a few years where I can potentially run a little faster, especially in, I would say, the 10K to half marathon race length. I think that's going to be the best opportunity for me as an older runner to really make some gains. And finally, I think the third thing is I'm just happy that in-person racing is back. I've done a couple virtual races last year during everything related to the pandemic, but it was just fun to get back into a live race situation where you've got people around you running faster, some running slower, so there's always somebody to help you push yourself and get the best out of yourself on any particular day. So I'm very, very happy that in-person racing is back. I've got I'm going to take a little bit of a break here this week. I'm going to run easy probably tomorrow, Thursday, and Saturday, kind of get back into my 3 to 4 day running, but it's going to be easy, very easy effort this week. And then I'll start back into to a little bit more concentrated training starting next week. A couple of upcoming races. I've got the ability to run a 4-mile race here in the next few weeks, and then there's a 10-mile race in October that I think I'm going to target that. A half marathon on Thanksgiving Day that I'm going to need to think about, and then we start into next year. But I'm very happy with my training and how it's going. I'm doing a good job of balancing running with other cross training, and I'm going to talk about that here in the next week or two, a little bit more detail what my plan is around that. So all in all, 2021 Peachtree Road Race came out very good for me. It was great to see everybody out running again. I'm excited that in-person racing is back. It's a great race. If you ever get the opportunity to run it, highly recommend it. 2 thumbs up. It's a well supported race, well organized. It goes off like clockwork. They know what they're doing, that's for sure. Oh, I want to show you the shirt because you don't get the shirt unless you cross the line. So this was this year's shirt. Very, very nice. This was the 52nd running of the Peachtree. So looking forward to running quite a bit more. The oldest finisher of this year's Peachtree was a lady who is 96 years old, and she completed the course in just over 2 hours. So and she says, I'll be back next year. So that's fantastic. I hope I am still able to walk at 96. So thank you for watching all the way to the end. If you like what you're seeing here, please click that thumbs up. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Click the bell for notifications, and just share this channel if you like what you're seeing. But definitely the thumbs up button there gives us the best opportunity to let the world of YouTube know that this channel exists and spread the word. So thank you as always. Hope you had a good safe holiday 4th of July weekend, and that you were able to get some good runs in, and we will see you later. And until then, be well.